Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome for this new Timeout from Tamriel, and this week we are very excited to tell you that we are going to speak about Rachel. A lot of you wanted we speak about that. Actually, 27% voted for Rachel versus 15 that voted for console. So the console discussion will be for another time maybe. So let's start to speak about Rachel. Timeout, Delta.
Racials and Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, so I'm gonna give my just brief overview of what I think about them so far. I think it's an integral part to the series, right? The franchise is all about the races that you can pick and having these unique bonuses, and they're pretty fun. The problem is that they've changed over time, and with the update of 1.6, they've changed significantly, the importance of them. Like, take the Khajiit, for instance. Before 1.6, critical was really hard to get. And the more critical you had, the more ultimate you could build, so on and so forth. So Khajiit was an ideal race. It was cool. It's like a role-playing aspect. You got this little cat sneaking around. I love my Khajiit. 1.6 rolls around, and it's almost unplayable because I don't have any like stamina-based or magicka bonus. So my damage that I'm doing or tanking anything is just completely undermined because of my race. And I have no way to change it. So I have this character that's a Nord that I can't change that does, minuscule damage. Without soft caps, the racial changes really affect your character's performance. Now, at level 40, you don't notice it. At VR 14 in the hardest dungeon in the game, you notice it. And so people always ask me questions, would this race be okay? Well, yeah, but, if performance is important to you, it really, really, I think we need racial changes in the game. Sig, what do you think about that?
The games previous, the racial passives or bonuses that you would get made a lot of sense. It was a single player game. You could tweak, or you could choose a race and excel in whatever area because of it. But if you decided to go against that, you could still get away with it because it was just you, So, the Brayton's got the magic bonus or whatever. But if you wanted to play something that was not, that didn't have that bonus, you could still do it because it was just you. When we come over to Elder Scrolls Online, the passives, I understand why they're there, but with it the way it is right now, with the lack of the soft caps and how, if you are going for that performance, how important the racials are, something has to happen because what they're doing with this is you've got performance-based players that, join the game and want to be the best they can possibly be. And then you've got this other aspect of people who just want to get in and have fun and they want to do it their own way, but later down the line, somebody like me, I'm not a performance-based player, but I still try to be the best I can be when I'm doing something, and I will go into a dungeon, with people and whatnot. And I think the racial passives, because I want to have fun with my character and I want it to be a certain way, but I also want to be able to group and be effective for the people that I'm grouping with. There's a roadblock there, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm kind of struggling with forming my thoughts into words here right now.
Well, I think it's not, you made a good point. It was a solo aspect of the game. You're not affecting anyone if you pick Argonian.
Right.
So you're only affecting your world. But if you pick a Dunmer, Vampire, Dragon Knight, and go in PvP, the advantages are just insane. They're insane advantages.
And I guess what my point is Elder Scrolls, the franchise, has always been about doing what you want to do. And in this game, and I'm going to use this crazy, example here. If you want to play a Magicka Orc Templar in this game, you need to be able to play a Magicka Orc Templar in this game. And some people do it. I'm a great example. I'm running a Magicka build Nord Nightblade, and it's working out for me. Is it the best that it could be? Absolutely not. But there are some aspects to making things work out for you. But in the long run, something needs to happen with with the racial passives so they can include everybody basically.
Yeah,
All right, Aloha.
I completely agree with both of you. Before the
Really? Wait, say it again.
I agree with you guys. Before update 6, it didn't matter so much because of the soft cap, as you explained very
Yeah.
well. You could compensate by, if you were a Khajiit healer, you didn't have any passive for it, but you could compensate by having a gear which was full of magic with magic enchant and blah blah blah. And so it was working. And now it's not working anymore. So by the fact that a lot of players have the character that they enjoy to play, and now they cannot play anymore because it's becoming garbage. First, we need to have the race change. That's very important. Just
Yeah.
because there was something kind of unfair for some people that have affected deeply the way they play and their performance. Second, like Citrix said, in the old school games, it was very nice to have very typical racial. Yes, I'm an Argonian, I can swim very fast, and I'm good at this, but I'm bad at that. But it's fine because it's a solo game, so you can roleplay alone your Argonians that were not supposed to be a Magicka user, but you still are because it's cool. And of course you're a little bit weak, but it's okay. At the moment where you are playing with other people, you cannot allow yourself to be less performant for roleplay reason. And I know that because long time ago, when I was role-playing in World of Warcraft, I had decided that my priest will only use holy spells and never touch shadow spells. I was not learning the shadow spells because it was evil. It was not good for my character. And of course, it was a very important spells that I was supposed to use, and I was not using them for roleplay reason. And I had to abandon this kind of behavior because when someone say, "Oh no, I'm not using these very good abilities because I'm a role player and this not fit the background of my character," you want to slap this person. Come on, guy, you're dying, and our group is wiping constantly because of your fucking roleplay. You cannot do that. So we need to have a balance. Sorry to wake you.
Oh my god, Aloha. You're going ham on this racial changes.
Well, anyway, we need to find a balance to allow the role players and the people that enjoy to play a race for personal reasons and performance. Otherwise, it's not fun. I want to play Khajiit. I really want, but I can't because Khajiit
I want to play
are crap.
Argonian.
Yeah, Argonian and Khajiit are the two races that are
Yeah,
garbage.
they're awesome.
And
And
they're
orcs terrible.
yeah, and they are looking great, and you don't see those characters anymore in the game because they are too bad, and you only see high health, Breton, and
Dumbo.
yeah, and it's boring. For
All right, so we all are on the same page, surprisingly, on this. Now, I think personally, since the passes have changed significantly over time, almost every single one, there's been no soft cats introduced. I think everyone deserves one free racial change. Every character. I really do. Because, if you're going to change something fundamentally, it's only right to give the players an option to change for free one time. And then I would like it to be implemented. I don't know if you do it in the Crown Store or how you do it. Maybe Sig could give us insight on that because it's more like database oriented. But regardless of how they do it, I'm willing to pay $20-$30 for a race change. I got no problem with that. I would gladly change my Nord to something else, and I would love my character way more. So Sig, what about that? Like, how do they go about? Is that something they can do easy? Is it like?
Well, I mean, it depends on the code they're using. But before I get into that, your point on the racial change, like a free one and everything, I completely agree with that. However, I'm not sure it's entirely the right fix. I think there needs to be something else done because, I mean, racial change to get the passives that I want for my Nightblade, I'm not changing him. He is not going to be anything other than a Nord. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's I would imagine there are probably more people who are more role play aligned in that aspect than there are performance based,
Yeah.
and there needs to be a way for them to
not suck.
fix the racial passive problem. So I don't know if that means each race gets one racial passive and then the rest maybe are out of a skill line that we can choose from, or what. I don't know. But yeah, something else needs to happen, I think. But as far as racial changes, the ways ZeniMax would do that, I don't know how their databases are and everything like that, and it really just depends on how they've got the game built. Some games they've offered it because it was just a real simple thing for them to do on the back end. It was just a little snippet of code that defined what your character looked like racial wise. But here, because there are passives tied into it, I don't know how complex it is. It should be. I mean, they did mention race respecs in Timeout or in ESO Live, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that they can do. I just don't know how complex it is.
Yeah.
So, Loa, how do you think they should implement it?
Well, they've said clearly we will not change, we will not touch to the racial if we cannot implement the change of race. So I think it's in their plans. They want to do it, but maybe it's more complicated and they are trying to figure out how to do. But I really think they should do it, and I really think that they should. I like when a race have some flavors. This is something that World of Warcraft have taken away from race, and I find it a bit sad because it's fun to be Khajiit and to be special in that area. But I think that the flavor, it should not hinder performance. So to have too much passive regarding stamina, health, or magicka, it's maybe not a good thing. Or maybe you should be able to choose one. I'm a Khajiit specialized in health. And every race will have the possibility to specialize in health or magicka or stamina regeneration. And then you will have more flavor stuff. Like I'm an Orgonian, I can swim faster. I'm a Khajiit, I can sneak better. I'm, this kind of racial. And I'm all in favor of flavor racial, something that will make you unique and stand out from the other race, but will not make you completely sucky if you want to be a magicka user or stamina user.
Yeah, and with you saying that about flavor and everything, it kind of gave me an idea on if this was my game and I was creating it, how I would tackle it. I think is that each different race would have a minor passive that only influence things that aren't really performance based. So we'll use Nord for example. They get a passive that helps them train up two-hand faster. Everybody can get to level 50 in two-hand. The Nord just does it a little bit quicker. And then your magicka bonuses and your the different ones that really affect performance come from schools that you can join. So let's say I've got a Nord and I want him to be a caster. Well, I can go to the Mages College or whatever and do some quests there and earn passives that boost my magic regen or whatever that is.
Yeah, dailies even.
Yeah, that would be a sweet system for getting those passives in the game that people want, but allow you to keep flavor on one hand and customize your character to meet whatever the role is that you want.
They could put it those passive in the mage, fighter, and undaunted guild instead, and later on the thief guild. So that would make more sense, and so the racial would be more, It
wouldn't be more performance based. But a quick fix is okay. You got basically 4 racials. The very first one is just leveling, so it doesn't matter at any game, right? Then there's 3 other ones. The problem with, like, let's say my Nord, it has robust, probably the worst passive in the game, health regeneration. No one uses that. You go to an Imperial, 12% more health, 10% more stamina. They need to have basically probably the 3 passives be similar. So my Dunmer has fire resistance. My Nord has cold resistance.
Yeah.
Great. Argonian has poison. Wood Elf disease. Perfect. But don't have one race that has 12% bonus to a Nord that has basically 3 health.
Especially not a race that you need to buy special edition of the game, because that's a little
Yeah,
bit pay to win, and a lot of people have complained that the
that is a little
release.
bit pay to win. And Imperial's the with no soft caps, Imperial is the #1 best race right now overall. Why?
Yeah.
12% health. So if you go all, you don't have to put any attributes into health, and you can go all into magic, still have 34,000 magic at endgame. Or if you want to play stamina, now you can self heal with your weapon attacks. You have almost ridiculous amount of stamina. You hit as hard as possible. It's just, yeah. I'm not going to get started in Imperials because I just don't like that. You know what I mean? But I think the 3 trees, if they just tweak a little bit, one is a resistance-based thing, one is a flavor type thing, are going and swim faster, Nords, I don't know, trim their beards faster. And then the third one is like a stamina bonus. So I'm a Nord, right? I'm going to use a 2-hander. Why don't I have a stamina increase?
Yeah.
Why does a Nord have health regeneration? I'm a Khajiit. I can sneak better. Yes, you should sneak better as Khajiit. Argonian should sneak faster. But if you give those people that, they're screwed on their other performance-based ones. Dumber. Let me just read this. Last ramble here. 6% magic and stamina as a Dunmer. That's 1 passive.
Yeah.
Flame resistance plus max magic up by 3%. 9% more magic. And then increase spell damage effects with fire by 7%. That is a ridiculous passive. That's why I'm playing Dumber Dragon Knight now. I want to play a Nord. I just don't want to suck.
Yeah.
Ramble over.
No, that's totally understandable. And I hope they do something that's going to fix it for everybody.
I think they will. So last thing is the price point. So let's say they, do all this stuff and we're happy, joy. What's a fair price to pay for this?
Well, the first one should absolutely be free because of the changes in the past and changes that are going to come in the future. After that, I mean, industry standard as far as server transfers and name changes and stuff like that is kind of about $10.
Really, it's only $10?
No,
yeah, and most games that I've played, like a name change is like $10.
Yeah, name change is $10, but server change, race change, stuff like that, it's 20.
20? Well, yeah, well, somewhere in there.
Changes,
I mean,
yeah.
I think $10 is fair. $20 is a little steep, but it's still, it's not unimaginable. And it would be something, if it was something that I wanted to do, I would pay 20 for it.
Yeah.
Well, would you pay 20 for yours?
Oh, don't want to change my race.
Well, you're a Breton, right?
Yeah, Breton healer.
You rolled a Breton Templar, and I picked a Nord Dragon Knight. The min-maxer picks the worst race. The crazy person picks the best one for heal.
But I'm not that stupid,
Oh, I didn't say you're stupid. No, it's a good conversation. I can't wait to hear you guys' results and feedback on it. Personally, I wanted to play an Argonian Nightblade, and there was actually a really cool combination with Argonian Nightblades in the past with potions, and it was really cool because you could build this Nightblade centered around potions and having these passives and making a unique character that was a unique character. So the last thing I have to say is, Zos, don't take away the uniqueness of the races, but just balance it a little bit better. Because Argonians are effing Argonians. They look cool. It's a part of the lore, and cool part about Tamriel is the races and how they interact with each other and the story and their backgrounds and the lore. Don't sacrifice all of that just for performance. In fact, I'd rather have it not messed with if you're going to screw that up. I honestly would rather have it the way it is if you don't remove the flavor stuff. That's what makes this game great, is the lore and the world of Tamriel.
Yeah.
Last thoughts on that? Hello.
So, well, it's time to close this discussion.
What's up for next week?
Well, next week, guys, we propose you 2 things. What are our favorite quests, or what are our favorite dungeon? So, we will speak about PvE. Quest or dungeon?
I know what I want. I know what I want to talk about.
Yep. See you next time, guys. Thank you so much to have watched. I hope you enjoyed this episode and take care.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.